Hey, well, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you, excited to share the news with you. I tried to run this as a live. It got 27 seconds in, and the stream got interrupted again. It seems to be regular lately. I don't know what's going on, but hey, I've got some great news for you, both on news coming out of the FDA and amount of information they need to release. Mr. 81 million, I've got some interesting numbers there. We also have a launch date for Truth Social, but how that relates back to some other things I pulled from a couple articles there. And we're also going to talk a little bit about cyber ninjas and that whole thing because the mainstream media has it wrong again. All right. So before I get into the news real quick, mypillow.com, promo code Lumberjack will save you up to 66%. And neiljohnsonphotos.com, promo code Lumberjack will save you 10% on one item, 15% on two. But this MyPillow stuff is fantastic. I carry this travel pillow with me wherever I go. If you don't have one of these, I really recommend it. And those sheets, those Giza sheets, are buy one, get one. They're awesome. And you can always support the show through the merchandise store, lumberjacklogicshow.com. All the links are below. All right, so getting into it. This is really a big piece. I don't know. The FDA was requesting to release only 500 pages per month, but the court has now ordered the FDA to produce the Pfizer data at a rate of 55,000 pages per month. This is a huge win for transparency. I mean, how can you say that you can only release 500 pages per month for events that are this important? You know, and many of you saw the podcast with Rogan and Malone, and, you know, there was a lot of phenomenal information dropped there. And then, of course, it just got disappeared, you know, because that makes sense. Anyways, but a great win for transparency that removes the stranglehold health authorities have had on data. Independent scientists need to offer solutions and address serious issues within the program. Now, this is out of Aaron Siri's Substack, okay? And on behalf of my client, my firm requested that the FDA produce all the data submitted by Pfizer to license the jab. The FDA asked the court for permission to only be required to produce at a rate of 500 pages per month, which would have taken over 75 years to produce all the documents. The federal judge soundly rejected the FDA's request and ordered the FDA produce all the data at a clip of 55,000 pages per month. Folks, this is massive. This is such a big win for transparency. Okay, don't belittle this. This is huge. No person should be coerced into any procedure, okay? Your autonomy in your decisions for your health is paramount, okay? It's one of our freedoms. It's crucial. Okay, so we're talking about not so much whether you want to get it or not, but it is talking about it. But you know, no matter how you see the issue, forced coercion has never been what this country was founded upon. Okay, so that's a big deal. Now, I want to discuss something out of Civiqs. Oh, Civiqs. That's Civiqs. Their polling data. Do you approve of the way Biden is handling his job as president? Even in Minnesota, my state, he's underwater at negative 13%. In fact, he's only positive in Vermont at plus 11, Massachusetts at plus 7, and Maryland at plus 2. Otherwise, he is negative in every other state, folks. This is amazing. But wait, I got to show you that the more educated you get, the dumber you get. Check these numbers out. So of all respondents in this poll, 35% approve, 55% disapprove. Neither approve or disapprove is sitting at 10%. He has been sitting in the 30s, no matter what poll you're watching. And now if we go into age groups, get this, his approval rate is lowest among the 18 to 34 group. He's only at 27% with 57% disapproving. As people get older, those numbers actually improve, which is surprising. 35 to 49, he's at 34%, 50 to 64, 38%, and at 65 plus, he's at 41%. Maybe they're polling at nursing homes. And other people are filling out the poll and answering it. I don't know. But amongst education, non-college graduates are at 34% approval. College graduates are only at 35%. That's a 1% approval. But the postgraduates, the biggest idiots on the planet, are at 40%, which, to Elon Musk's point, all these postgraduate degrees are nonsense, all right? It's way overdone. So it goes down. But here, I want to give you something really good. Hispanic Latino, his approval rating is only at 46%, while disapproval is at 42%. Okay, so he is not even doing good there. Even amongst Black Americans, he's only at 62%. And, whites, he's only at 28%. But again, oh, wait, there is one other state he's positive in. That's Hawaii. Hawaii, which, he's +5 in Hawaii, +2, just to be, fair here, +2 in Maryland, +7 in Mass, and +11 in Vermont. I mean, 4 states. Woohoo! This guy, Mr. 81 million, most popular of all time. Woohoo! Okay? But don't worry, because and I think everybody can see this. It's out of the Gateway Pundit. It's coming. Biden's latest irrational move to obliterate the economy about 2 weeks out. Okay, so according to the U.S. government figures, Canada's trade with Canada was $718.4 billion in 2019. Exports were exports were $360.4 billion. Imports at $358 billion. Canada was the largest goods export market in 2019. But now, okay, adding to the supply chain and inflation crisis, in about a week, the jab mandate and subsequent commercial passport means 30,000 cross-border truckers are about to get shut down from operating between the United States and Canada. 70% of the $700 billion in trade between Canada and the U.S. is moved by truck. This will have a dramatic effect on supplies and services reaching their destination and getting in the hands of those who need them. Okay? This is from the president of the Private Motor Truck Council of Canada. All right, so this would be disastrous just to make him more popular. We've got the big case going on before the Supreme Court right now. I actually listened to some of those oral arguments. I got to tell you, it's tough for me to listen to that because it's so much nonsense. It seems so easy. I mean, you look at the Constitution and what they're trying to do, and you're just like, toss this thing. Why are we having a hearing on this? But they, need to sound reasoned, I guess. I mean, it's not reason to just say, well, the Constitution says what it says. Anyways, it's not unreasonable, I should say. So here, the other thing, cyber ninjas, right? You guys have all heard these reports coming on the mainstream media. They had to shut down all this kind of stuff. Well, Doug Logan has responded to the misleading mainstream media reports on his company's shutdown with Give, Send, Go campaign to cover the costs still of the audit. Cyber Ninjas is closing shop. The Florida company was hired to run the audit there, of course, as you know. This is out of the Gateway Pundit. I can't read all of it because it's too hot to handle over here. I'll put some links to these articles in the description below so you guys can go read that if you want to. But Doug told us the reports were misleading. The company's decision to shut down had nothing to do with the court ruling this week in Arizona. Okay, the $50,000 a day. Doug said the company paid off many of its creditors, but was still in debt. It laid off workers in January and made the decision to shut down last year. Okay, so it was unrelated. He said it's just, basically it's due to all the expenses. There is a link. He put it all on the line there, really, to do this. And I think actually his treatment by both those in the mainstream and those on the right has just been appalling. It's just... Anyways, I'm not going to go into a whole report on that. I don't believe this guy's a fraud or anything like that. So, nonpartisan judge who ordered, I want you to know this too in a separate article, the nonpartisan judge who ordered private company, Cyber Ninjas, to give up personal communications to leftist newspaper or face $50,000 per day fine, donated to campaigns of anti-Trump U.S. lawmakers. Okay? So here we go. It's interesting because he's supposedly so nonpartisan, but yet he is giving to all the anti-Trumpers, okay? So and then making a ruling in this. Anyhow, so here he is, John Hanna. He is, quote-unquote, nonpartisan Maricopa County Superior Court judge. So he has given to Act Blue multiple times. Warren for president. Numerous Stanton, Sinema, on and on. Sinema has been one of the bright spots of lately. Warren for president again. This guy is not nonpartisan. It's very obvious. which, leaves a lot of things in question. But on another note, Truth Social has said that they are going to launch on February 21st, President's Day, according to the listing on Apple's App Store. So he is on the App Store. Now, what's interesting is, as this is happening, Fox News just did a piece about Google and Twitter employees flood Democrats with donations as companies are accused of censoring conservatives. So, just so you know, the top donors from Google, which owns YouTube, pushed 94% of their total 2022 political contributions to Democrats, as did 99% of Twitter donations, the records show. So this is what you're looking at. You're looking at a collusion with government. I mean, it's obvious that that's what's taking place, right? So, and a report out of the Washington Examiner, social media employees should not be arbiters of truth. Facebook has now claimed that its permanent ban on Heroes of Liberty, a children's book publisher specializing in biographies such as former President Ronald Reagan, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, and economist Thomas Sowell, was simply an error. Now, it's not an error because watch this. In absence of some further, this is out of the Washington Examiner, in absence of some further explanation of what the error was, which is completely unsatisfactory explanation, what appears to have happened in reality is that one of Facebook's many rabid leftist employees pulled the trigger to censor conservative content. A story as common in the world of social media as turkey is at Thanksgiving dinner. In this case, Facebook actually took ad money from Heroes of Liberty and then refused to show its advertisements, supposedly on the grounds that its product was low quality or disruptive, okay? Now, maybe disruptive to the propaganda. Yes, I understand that. There is no reason to think that this company's work product is either of those things, yet somehow Facebook not only flagged the material, but also denied the company's appeal and instituted a permanent ban. This means that an actual human being working for this social media company looked at this case and consciously decided to discriminate against a conservative children's book publisher. Shocking, right? Okay, an error is a mistake in adding numbers, a misplaced punctuation mark, or sending of an email to the wrong John Smith, but one can hardly call it an error that Facebook, Twitter, and other big tech companies consistently discriminate against conservative viewpoints and ban conservatives anytime there's even the remotest potential justification. So, social media companies often decry as conspiracy theories the mere statement of facts that liberals dislike. Just look at all the times we have been proven right after stories have run and then been taken down by these people and then continue to show that we were actually right. It's a story as old as, I don't know, time itself, my friends. So this is where the world's at. But fortunately, with Truth Social coming out, we're not going to have that kind of censorship. We're going to be able to post freely and so on. And it's very important because, I hardly spend any time on Facebook or Twitter, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. They're just not worth the time. They are, also they rely on sensationalism. And then those posts will see more engagement. So all they do is create more disruption when if you try and get a reasoned argument and real news out, those stories get put down. It's one of the problems here with YouTube too. You're always constantly trying to come up with thumbnails and titles that work, and then the more sensationalized the stuff is, but actual just straight news here on what's going on in the world, which we're consistently trying to give, is somehow just not as popular. But anyways, folks, thanks so much for supporting the show. Thanks for supporting through the merchandise store, lumberjacklogicshow.com, and the MyPillow sponsorship. Please do subscribe if you haven't, and we'll catch you next time, all right? Peace out.